It is about character. It's about your journey defined. It's about leading with character. And this is why I'm so excited. Today, I'm going to be very practical. I'm going to show you again how to do this, how to apply all this character training. What is the best way and how can we do this? One of the best ways to start is to do character first training in your home or at school, but let's start at home because that to me is the starting place. So when you train people, and if you're interested, again, connect with us so that we can help you. But when you do it in the family, you sit down as normally a one-day seminar where you train people, how do we build character in our family? You ask them the questions, now what is wrong? What are the challenges that we are facing as a family? And you make a list of all these challenges. Then you sit down and say, well, listen, what is the answer? What is good character? But the beauty is you and your loved one as well as the children is attending the seminar so that you can work through these type of things. And my job here, and I want to explain it again, is not to give you the content. I'm looking forward to people who said, Mario, can you train me? Because when you train a person in character, you ask them to take people through this process. If you do it in a family, you also ask, give me examples of good character. And a lot of people struggle with this. And then the next thing that you discuss is how do we develop character? What is the best way? So we're talking today on this topic about leading with character. Put character first, whatever you do. As part of this character family training, you also sit down with the family and say, well, listen, how are we going to build character? How going to we give, training? And how are we going to do it with praise? So this is the first part. You're going to be very practical, but you're sitting down with the family. So I want to ask you, I know you've got lots of programs. You listen to great and brilliant speakers, but I want you to be a facilitator. Please, if we can get, and I'm not sure about numbers, but if we can get maybe 1,000 people listening to us, well, Mario, can you train me? Yes, the answer is yes. I want you to listen to us so that we can help you, so that you can take it further, and then we can forward you the material in terms of how do we character training at home with our families, as well as in our churches, as well as all the character definitions, as well as all the exercises. To me, very, very important. But then I do get this other request, Mario, what do we do if I want to apply this in my school? I see kids running around, and I've been in schools. It is not easy. There's lots of fighting and there's all sorts of things happening. And then again, I train people so that they can take it into the schools. Exactly the similar approach, but this is a different booklet. So we're talking about why do we need to bring character at schools? What is the situation? What is wrong? What is the benefits of building character? How do we change the culture in the school? How do we teach character qualities? And what is the best way of doing it? So wonderful material. I'm part of a network, Character First Network overseas, who are submitting all this material. My job is to implement this for us in Africa. So if you're sitting here and say, Mario, I want to know, what do we do? How do we do character? How do we praise other people? How do we recognize them? How do we do character-based correction? To me, in a nutshell, it's a must. I want you to get involved. But I want to go back to this third one is, how do we apply this in the workplaces? Now, in the workplaces, you normally ask questions like, hey, what are the challenges that you are facing? Where is it coming from? What can we do about this? If you are in a position to fix it, what will be the best thing to do it? So it's always about character and understanding and the challenges that you are facing right now. That to me is a big one. So we need to talk about this as you implement this, because it doesn't matter where you are. You can, and to sit in Nigeria, you can be in Kenya, you can be in Zambia, you can be in Zimbabwe. I've even done this for Malawi, I've done it in Uganda. And then I realized the challenges that we are faced are similar. It doesn't matter which part of the world you are. And the challenge to us is, how do we fix it? What do we do about it? So one of the first things that I always love doing is explaining and helping people. So let's define character. What is character? And listen to this. It's a wonderful definition. It's the stable and distinctive qualities built into an individual's lives which determine his or her responses regardless of the circumstances. So what do? I'm asking you, when you look at and you listen to character, even if you're in the workplace or at school or in business, ask yourself, do this character assessment. And I want to be practical because now we're talking about leading with character. Now, there's something that I want to focus on. The opposite of alertness is carelessness. The opposite of attentiveness is distraction. The opposite of availability is self-centeredness. The opposite of boldness is fearfulness. So what do? We do an assessment. Are you towards the left or towards the right? And you can add it up and you can get a score. Now, I want you to get not 50% or 40% or 30%. I want you to get 80% plus. Why is this so important? I don't want you to be inconsistent, to be rude, to be full of resistance and rejection, to full of disrespect, loneliness, because this is the opposite of all these brilliant character qualities. And I want to challenge you. What do we see in the world? This is what we see in the world today. And now we want to fix it. We want to send this person another program. And I'm saying, I want to challenge you, please. We need to look at these type of things differently. I don't want you to make, full of prejudice, full of anxiety, full of confusion, full of anger, full of corruption. These are the other side. So here is a tool that I want to ask you to get involved. I believe, and listen to me, it's still one of the best tools for evangelizing. Why? Because you can have a great conversation. You can ask people, let's talk about the meaning of life. Let's talk about what you see in the world today. Let's talk about what should be the character qualities of a great steward. And you can have a wonderful discussion. You can sit down with your family. And this is why I believe this is where you need to get involved, because it is about character. But character is something that I've learned. You will be tested, because we're talking about leading with character. You will be tested. So the point is, what do you do if you're in a difficult situation? If you're looking at just, recently certain things that happen in the sport world, people are cheating. What do we do when these type of things happen? How do we do it? How do we fix it? And how do we get this thing right in the world today? So I'm back to this wonderful biblical principle of sowing and reaping. And I know you know it, but let me repeat this. The laws of the harvest. You reap what you sow. You reap more than you sow, and you reap later than you sow. So what are we saying? If you keep on being, full of indifference and rudeness, you're full of resistance and rejection, what's going to happen 5 or 10 or 15 years later? But if you're full of, say, for instance, determination, dependability, enthusiasm, and faith, this is what's going to happen. You're going to see it in your children. You're going to see it in the next generation, because I'm saying if you start sowing those seeds, you're going to be a better employee. Yes. You're going to be a better what? A neighbor. You're going to be a better husband and wife. You can make a difference. But you're going to start training and teaching these people these type of principles. Because teaching, to me, I want to repeat this, is not a once-off exercise. It's not an event. It's an ongoing process. You need to learn, you need to apply, and you need to teach others. So what do I see in the world today? And I want to just throw in a very important principle. I think there's going to be a mind shift that's going to happen. We believe that everything is okay, and we believe in what we call performance. You need to be performed. And there's a place for that. Because if you look at the character qualities for performance, it's about delivering. And I'm saying that's fine, but is there something else? Because if you want to be performed, you need to ask your questions. What can we do differently? Where are we right now? What else can we do? And I know that if you look at the biblical basis of work, we're going to work. Work is like worship. There's a very important principle. So we need to do it with excellence in the way we do it. But then we need to apply these character qualities. We need to understand these type of things. We need to live it out. We need to say to ourselves, listen, what about things like determination? What about things like adaptability, dependability, creativity, enthusiasm, endurance? These are vital, important character qualities. But let's take a short break. I want to carry on with these discussions so that you can see how we can apply it and be a leader to apply these principles.
Do we understand these different seasons? We try our best to help people to be successful. As people move on with their lives, there is a desperate need to move on to the season of significance. In our research on managerial degeneration and self-neglect, We have found that managers easily understand the importance of strategic thinking and when to have team building sessions with their staff, but often fail to apply those same processes in their own lives. Use your willingness and obedience now. Start your journey to be a facilitator today. When trained as a facilitator, you will have the opportunity to serve people in a very unique way. We are keen to take you through this wonderful training. Let the rest of your life be the best part of your life.
Leading with character, what a difficult topic. And it's about leadership. And leadership is more than about influence. And I want to repeat this. Leadership is first of all following Him, following His footsteps, serving other people. Then we influence the world. But the way we do it as leaders, we want to put performance character always first. And I'm saying that's great. We need to perform and perform and perform. But what about the other side? The other side is about your moral character. And moral character is the way we do things. It's thinking like compassion, it's like empathy, it's like forgiveness. And again, I want to repeat this. Is there a place for forgiveness in the workplace? And the answer is yes. Apply it. It's okay to apologize for the inconvenience. Things like friendliness, things like kindness, love. You ask the question, Mario, do you really believe there's something like that we need to do in the workplace? And the answer is yes. Loyalty, patience, sensitivity. So how can we do this? As a leader, I want you, and I know I've trained lots of people on various training and leadership programs in the world, but I want you to assess your character because there are different leadership styles. You can be like a visionary type of person where you start giving direction, but again, always I'm saying if you want to give direction and vision, remember where is it coming from? Get on your knees. But you can be a coach. You can be a person, what we call, you can be like a finisher. You can be, there's like an analyzer. There are different leadership styles based on character. And each and every one of these character qualities and each of every one of these leadership styles do have certain specific leadership qualities to support that. And then again, this is why I'm going to ask you, if you are interested, if you're sitting in the workplace, you said, Mario, come on, please do this. I know if I'm thinking right now, for example, if we're a big bang where I'm busy doing it in Africa, they are keep on coming back and back to us. Well, Mario, this is what we need. This is solid material. And I know why. Because this is based on the Word of God. It's just not a couple of new thoughts or lovely thoughts, because there are so many leadership theories. But I'm saying, you know, they're coming from an MBA perspective, but these leadership qualities is coming from a KBA perspective. It's all about kingdom business. It's all about putting God first. It's His character qualities. So what I'm saying is, if you want to be, to give you a good example, a great visionary leader, you need to have qualities like benevolence. You need to be creative. You need to be full of discernment. You need to be full of discretion. You need to be full of enthusiasm. You need to be full of faith. You need to have wisdom. And I love it. It's not about knowledge. It's not about insight. It's about wisdom. So please, if you want to be a great leader, you've got to surround yourself with a small group of people. You're going to pray together. You're going to ask for wisdom. You're going to ask for this guidance. But this is not something that you can quickly go to 1 day or 2 day programs. So this is why I believe, and I want to say something here that people is not maybe going to like it. But you know, these 1 day, 2 day training and leadership programs, it's just an awareness. It's just great contents. But if you take character-based leadership for the full year, it's like small daily supportive material so that you can apply these type of things. But I want to be practical. And another way of being practical is, I've asked myself, why a lot of people are unhappy at workplace? And I want to share with you, if you want to be a great leader, start understanding the difference between appreciation and recognition. And I want to use a good example. This is a very old case study where they've asked supervisors, what do you think employees want? What do you think? Now, again, I want you to think about this question and what they've said. They said, oh, it's all about wages and money. It's all about job security. It's all about promotion. It's all about getting the right working conditions. They want interesting work. They want loyalty. They want discipline. They want appreciation. They want to be in on things. And in this research, Things like appreciation, sympathy for personal problems, and being in on things was rated the last by the supervisors, by the bosses, by the leaders. But then they asked the same question for, in this case, not the supervisors, for the employees. I said, listen, out of these 10 qualities, what do you think are the most important ones? And listen to this, this is so powerful because we're missing something as a great leader. They put number 1, appreciation. Isn't that wonderful? Number 2, being in on things. Number 3, sympathy for personal problems. Now here is the point. The supervisors, the leader, put those qualities right at the end. This is not important because for them it's about business, about making impact. For the employees was the opposite. It was things like appreciation. It was being in on things. It's like sympathy. So what I'm saying is you want to be a great leader. Start putting character first. How do we do it? Use your meetings because this is a great place to motivate people. Start with a devotion. We've got a character devotion daily so that you can reflect on the principles. You can reflect on the biblical verses. So start with it daily. Give them recognition. But how do we do these type of things? Because it is about celebrating your character. It's about appreciation for things done. Now, the reason why I'm saying is you can learn how to play football. If somebody's playing a great game, you can keep on telling this person, this was great. But what I want you to do today is start appreciating your staff. Phone them, connect with them. But the way to do it is put a character quality back. So instead of saying, this was a great job, understand the person. Where is this person coming from? Why is this person on earth? I love those questions. And to me, this is another way of evangelizing. Tell me who you are, what is driving you, what are your personal mission statement. So understanding the person, understanding his birthday, and one of the best things that you can do, appreciate a person on a character quality standing out. Again, by saying, not by saying this was a great job, by saying thank you for your wisdom, thank you for your boldness, thank you for your discernment, thank you for your dependability, thank you for your truthfulness. I'm sitting here in a situation, I don't know what to do. To me, that's very important. So on a monthly basis, this is what I want you to do, and I'm now going to be practical. Listen to the people or look at the people who's in your team. Analyze and look at all the birthdays. And then you openly appreciate them for a character quality standing out. Oh, that will be grateful. So please, if you need to give appreciation today for somebody, your loved one, start doing that. And then you can also use a story by saying, listen, great, thank you very much, but I appreciate your discernment. And this is where this is important. I need people in my life also giving me feedback, but one of the best things that I love doing is appreciation. Start putting something out. I want to use a good example. Flying into specifically Ghana, where I've been so many times, I ask a specific gentleman, please wait for me at the airport. And the reason why I'm doing these type of things, I believe in punctuality. So one of the first things when I walk out of the airport and I realize here is the person standing in front of me, I appreciate him for a character quality by saying thank you very much for your punctuality. One of the next things that we do, we pray together. And I said to him often, listen, I really appreciate your discernment because we need that. I also asked him, listen, I want to check, do you have all the materials for the rest of the training? And I said, I appreciate you for your responsibility. It's amazing. Afterwards, after a session, we often thank them and we analyze what went right and what went wrong. And I said, listen, I just appreciate your sincerity, your thoroughness, your wisdom in fixing these issues. So please get into this this thinking and the way of talking about character recognition in the workplaces, in your family, in your loved ones. I do get a lot of people phoning me, so Mario, this is great. But how do I appoint people in an organization? How do I bring character qualities? And what I often do, I will sit down with people and I look at all the character qualities and then I will ask them, listen, what type of person do you want? Do you want a sensitive person? Do you want this and this and this? So you can use character as a basis of hiring. You don't know who's in the organization. And this is, to me, it could be the president of the organization. So who's sitting in the organization? And one of the key things that I want to help you also is starting to ask the right character questions. It is about character questions. That to me is very important. So yes, you can ask yourself a lot of questions. And I want to give you a couple of examples again. If you think about things like availability, how bold you are, listen to the question. Now I'm asking you the question. Is your heart right before the Lord so that He can work mightily through you? Now we've got a spiritual application as well as a business application. So I'm throwing these spiritual applications back to you. How cautious are you? Do you see God's will for your situations? Yes or no? Or you say, Mario, I just carry on and this is about me. How content are you? In what specific ways do you enjoy the presence of the Lord? So please, I want to urge you, the creativity, all these brilliant questions, decisiveness, dependability, determination. They are brilliant questions. The Old Testament, the New Testament, things that you can reflect on. You can study it. You can be a teacher so that you can apply this. Your endurance, your faith, your flexibility. Very, very important. Listen to this. When God calls you to a ministry or work, do you resist and make yourself busy with other activities? That's possible. So it's all about your flexibility. Very, very important. Forgiveness and generous and gentle. So if you want to start preaching this, if you want to apply this in the workplaces, in the schools, hey, I want to say connect, get onto our Facebook, send your details to us so that we can forward you this information. One of the programs that I'm doing also for banks is about character, way of service excellence. Because imagine you are dealing with customers and service people outside, but if you are rude, you're not, you're not full of hospitality, what's going to happen? Something is wrong. So today I want to repeat, it is about character. It's about if you want to be a great leader in your organization, get the right people in, appoint the right people. But it's leadership, the character way of doing things. And there's certain qualities that I've highlighted. If you look at all these character qualities, you will find 7 specific different character leadership qualities, which I believe you need to take further. This leadership is not something that you can quickly go on a course. It's an ongoing process for the rest of your life, day in and day out, so that you can make the difference. I believe in leadership. I believe it's very important, but I want to close with my character-based leadership definition. Character-based leadership style is about following Him, serving others, and then we influence the world. I want to close this part of this session today by recapping on a couple of very important principles. And again, listen to this. It's not about knowledge, it's about wisdom. It's about character wisdom that we need to apply for the rest of our lives. The second thing that I want to highlight is about don't just dream about these type of things, start doing something about it. And then again, I'm saying, and this is to me such a wonderful principle, Jesus is not looking for fans, He's looking for followers. And if you want to be a follower, you need to have certain character qualities. This is why this is so important. Don't focus always on the problem. Let's focus on the solution, but focus it from a character perspective. And they will see there's a big difference. And I want to remind you, we are on this earth for a short while. And if this is for the next year or the next 3 or 5 years, what can we do in this short journey? And then the very important character quality that I want you to hear one day is faithful servant. another character quality. It's not about, hey, Dr. So-and-so, or, it's about faithful servant. It's a character quality. So what I want to ask you, I want to call on you for action. I want you to be a character change agent. I want you to be a character reformer. I want you to commit yourself emotionally, intellectually. I want you to start looking not always at what is wrong in the world today, but how can we be happy and what can we do and how can we fix it? I want you not to always have a me focus, but a ye focus. And all these type of things that I'm saying to you, it is about character. And I want to close this area with Psalm 5 verses 8. Lead me in the right path, O Lord. Tell me clearly what to do and show me which way to turn. And you can see it, the character quality. And then again, search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my thoughts. Point out anything in me that offends you and lead me along the path. It's a character business. This is who we are. This is what is it all about. This is why I want you to get involved, because I know that you can still make that difference. But we need to apply character at a different way of doing things. So again, as in the past, I want to say to you, start analyzing what you've learned so far. Start putting your action plans together, but start off yourself. It's not too late to do a character assessment, but I want you to get involved. I want you to be serious. Why is it so that certain people are hearing these brilliant sessions, but there's no growth? And I know why, because it's like sometimes you put something in but it's not growing. I want this character stuff and the principles to grow and to grow and to grow. So I want to repeat a couple of blessings. May you grow in your boldness. May you grow in your faithfulness. May you be a person of lots of forgiveness. Apply these type of things. Apply your courage. Apply your faith. Apply. And I know God is going to open up new thoughts for you. I also declare that wherever you are, let's declare your plans to the Lord. Let Him guide us so that you can make a difference. So what are we saying? The message at the end of the day, and I want to urge you and I want to ask you, please apply it. But the fundamental thing in character business is, let the rest of your life always be the best part of your life. But then you need to do a couple of things. You cannot say these type of things if you don't apply it. So I want to say it slowly. Let the rest of your life be the best part of your life. Don't talk about character. Put character first, because it's working, and you will be a different person as you carry on with this fundamental presence. But be a character change agent and a reformer. That's what I'm asking for you to do.